Speak and pause. Do you hear replay? Okay. All right. I think I'm live and I think the audio is working.
I'm not hearing you.
Okay. Yes. All right. Are you hearing it now?
No.
No. Okay. Audio is working?
I'm not hearing you.
Okay. Okay. All right. It says I'm streaming live, so let's try it. How can I love thee, Lord my God, with every breath I breathe? How can I love thee, Lord my God, with every breath I breathe? Just as a fire may burn a whole forest, burn to the root my desires. Just as a fire may burn a whole forest, burn to root my desires. How can I love thee, Lord my God, with every breath I breathe? How can I love thee, Lord my God, with every breath I breathe? Just as a fire may burn a forest, burn to the root my desires. Just as a fire may burn a whole forest, burn to the my desires. Okay, got a few technical bugs out of the way, and I think we are live and streaming from beautiful Camino Island on this very gray day, a little bit foggy here and there. We are on to number 201 in our Whispers from Eternity, and I'm just going to read it and then we'll see where it takes us. I vow never again to turn my gaze from thee. I take this sacred vow. Never will I lower my love's gaze below the eyebrow horizon of my constant thoughts of thee. Never will I turn my uplifted inner sight away from thee. Never will I let my mind dwell on anything that reminds me not of thee. I will disdain the nightmare of ignorant behavior. I will court all dreams of noble achievement, those of love, kindness, and understanding, for they are thy dreams. Though I dream many dreams, wakefully I will ever think of thee. In the sacred fire of constant remembrance, kept ever alight on my soul's altar, I will ever behold thy presence with the watchful eyes of devotional love. Thy grace has shown me that the dualities of health and sickness, life and death, joy and sorrow, are but passing fantasies. I am finished with those eternally self-canceling delusions. I am persuaded at last that there is but one abiding reality, thy eternal, ever conscious, ever new, ever thrilling, infinite bliss. Well, that's a mouthful, or a lot of words anyway. There are many points there worth considering. But those of us, and I presume probably everyone who might stumble upon this video, those of us who do make the effort to be mindful, to practice the presence of God, Christ, or one of the masters, or the presence of even simply mindful, conscious self-awareness. I think all of us try to do that. And if so, we know that it's not easy to do consistently, day after day, minute after minute, hour after hour. This is why we pray. We pray before having a meal. We pray before meditating. Perhaps we even pray mindfully before undertaking an important task in our daily routine, or maybe not so routine, an important task to us. Because we want to offer our intentions, for example, in consuming a meal, that it not be done simply for the sake of the palate or for food greed, but that it be done for nutrition, that we understand that the food is prana, life-giving energy that helps keep the body fit for self-realization. And so doing a prayer or an affirmation, a moment of mindfulness, offering what we do with non-attachment to the fruits, the consequences of what we do, offering what we do as an act of devotion, all of these different ways of being mindful are very, very helpful. I remember Swami Kriyananda pointing out, I don't want to say that what is obvious, but an important counterpoint is that he said, when a soldier in battle isn't going to be, when you're fighting for your life, you're not going to be sort of taking notes, okay? Mindfulness in such time takes a different tact, a different form than it might if you're at the end of the day and you're having your evening meditation and you're recounting the events of the day and offering up for purification any attachments or desires you had that day, or errors in judgment, etc. It's different. In the heat of the daily battle, in the din of activities, mindfulness has to take on a different quality, one that we don't talk much about. And so it's not different from this prayer demand, but I think this prayer demand has to be understood in such a way as not to discourage us, but to encourage us. And what do I mean by that? In the din of daily activity, we should seek to at least act calmly, to, by practice, feel a flow of inspiration, a flow of energy. You may not feel inspiration when you're doing the dishes, after all, but you can certainly feel a flow of life force. Not being the causative agent necessarily in what you do, but embracing what you do fully, being fully present, calmly present, and from time to time, feeling that flow is not belonging to you as having its source in you, and from time to time being more devotionally mindful, more spiritually uplifted. But again, this is a tall order from the standpoint of the, 16 to 18 hours of conscious wakefulness that we might have during a given day. Yogananda gives us a sop of sorts. He says, though I dream many dreams, meaning that he is acknowledging that during the time of sleep, at least during the dream state of sleep, most people don't have any control. The idea of vowing never to lower my love's gaze, etc., really isn't possible in the dreamlike state. Padma mentioned a dream she had last night about being with her parents, even at the age that they would be today were they still alive. That's an interesting dream, I'd say. In any case, during such dream states, it's really not possible until we advance towards the state of turiya, which is that watchful state behind every state that we encounter, which is a highly advanced state of consciousness. So we can't have unrealistic expectations. He says, thy grace has shown me the dualities are but passing fantasies. Well, that's not so easily achieved either. We might understand that intellectually, certainly, for sure, particularly as the decades roll along and you gain some conscious life experience that you can consciously recollect. You think of all the outrageously intense sorrows and pleasures and intensity of different things you've gone through, and you look back, there's so many of them, you begin to get suspicious. So, sure, intellectually, we can, by recollection, admit that they all seem like a dream, which indeed they do. Um, but in the midst of our trials, in the midst of our happiness, success, and our failures, it's a little bit more difficult, is it not, to see even those as fantasies. Again, like mindfulness generally, this is where daily meditation, stepping back, we went through an intense experience today or yesterday. We were all emotionally upset, but maybe at the end of the day, when we meditate, recollect the day and see if you could even but mentally distance yourself, even in that same day, from that experience. Not to discount it, not to say you shouldn't have been anything, but just to see it as separate from you. Even in recollecting it, it's like recollecting a ghost or a movie. It plays on the window screen, on the movie theater, on the movie screen of your mind. And even that, to some extent, already makes it, being of the past, like a dream, like something that actually wasn't part of you. These are deep thoughts, I have to admit, but they are aspirations, the effort towards which is very, very useful. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, and we repeat this every Sunday at our Sunday service and our Festival of Light ceremony, even a little bit of this practice will save you from dire fears and colossal sufferings. You know, when we go to a great movie, an epic movie, let's say, we can, by vicarious observation and experience, we might cry and we might laugh, and it's a great feeling. You come out of the movie theater or whatever, and you see this great drama of life, and you feel so cleansed and uplifted. In the end, perhaps, hopefully, the hero won, and so on. Let's try to do that with the drama of our lives. I like to quote Paramahansa Yogananda, as Swami wrote in his recollectedness in the book Essence of Self-Realization, in which Yogananda says, "The drama of life has for its lesson that it is only but a drama." That it is, indeed. I mean, some people like to think big picture. I'm a big picture person. Some people prefer small picture person. That's not a critique. It's just God is in the details after all. God is in every flower in every moment. So big picture, small picture, all can be gateways to transcendent, to the great drama, seeing life as the great drama. But in any case, my way is the big picture way. And when I recollect the billions of people who live on this planet, perhaps billions who have lived on this planet, their hopes and dreams, their pleasures and their pains, their sorrows, etc. I mean, oh my God, it's like, give me a break. You just sort of pant for the intensity of it all. You can't help but step back from this great drama. This is why when I look across Port Susan Bay here on Camano Island, and when Mount Baker comes up, or when I'm driving south towards Seattle and I see Mount Olympus, as I call it, which is Mount Rainier, it's like, you're just the panorama of the great vision of life. Those pictures from the Hubble space thing, and, beautiful panoramic pictures of nature. We need these things. Ramakrishna, or no, well, yeah, I think Ramakrishna told his disciple M that whenever he saw an expanse, a body of water, to think of infinity. And it's a wonderful, those of us who live by the ocean or the sky, you know, you look up, if we don't have stars here, we only have clouds, but we have ocean. So we can look out over the ocean. And whether maybe you live in the big skies of Montana, we do need some bigness, not to belittle us, but to expand us into that greatness of spirit, which is our true home. I will always think of thee. Okay, great souls, I'm in overtime. I'm at the risk of getting fired. So I'm going to sign off, give you a few seconds to hear those last parting shots before I click and dump this into infinity.